Hi there, I'm Holly McDowell with the Costa Mesa Pod, where we discuss all things revolving around the lifestyle, events, and businesses that make Costa Mesa such a unique place to live. Today I am at the Smart Fit Method for their grand opening, and I am joined by Connor and Rob Darborough and Arthur Fischler, and we're at their new Costa Mesa location. Thank you for being on the pod. How are you?
I'm very great, thank you.
So I wanted to find out more from you about your unique business. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how it works, what you guys have to offer? Go ahead.
Okay, so we look at convergence of technology on the fitness industry. So over the last 6 to 12 years, there's been a significant development in AI being used to improve the efficiency, effectiveness, and safety of regular exercise. So traditionally what we understand is that in order for someone to get the benefits of cardiovascular and strength training, they need to do about 150 minutes of cardiovascular training per week and 2 full strength training sessions. Unfortunately, that takes between 5 to 7 hours to achieve the minimum effective dose. And society only achieves that at 8%. So only 8% of the population actually gets to that level. So what we found is we looked into what the celebrities and professional athletes were using, and we looked at that technology and said, they're doing it in a much more efficient and effective way. So what they're able to do with this type of technology is 3 20-minute workouts will replicate the same benefits of 5 to 7 hours of training. So that being much more effective and efficient and also safer, allowing people to actually get their minimum effective dose in. The other thing that we can do is we can quantify all the benefits to the members so they can actually see, is this working for them? So no longer swinging a kettlebell over your head wondering, is it actually benefiting me? We can actually determine specifically how they're benefiting and whether they're training correctly or overtraining by allowing the machines to read their capability.
What do the machines measure?
Yeah. So what we measure is the strength improvements, and we do that on the big 3 movements, which would be a chest press, a row, and a leg press. We can also track that on a variety of other movements, but those are the main 3 we communicate. We also track the cardiovascular strength improvements, which is very similar to a VO2 max test. That's basically how much is their cardiovascular system improving. And then we also track their body composition. So how much muscle mass are they gaining, how much fat mass are they losing, all their circumferences on their body, as well as their posture and their balance improvements. So we get a pretty holistic approach when it comes to their health and fitness.
And then we make that available to all of our members through their own app.
Okay.
So you have this with you 24/7. You can know very quickly whether or not the Smart Fit method is working for you and benefiting you quickly and help you on that. The benefit that we tried to do is normally this was being run out there available to the professionals and athletes and the celebrities because it was in the price point of like $900 to $1,000 a month to access this type of equipment. We've actually put it together and tried to touch more lives with it by bringing it at $299 monthly, which is less than the cost of a yoga class, $23 a session.
Okay.
So you're accessing the best technology in the world, working with certified trainers at all times. We have a MBA nutritionist on staff too. MBA is actually in nutrition. We have a breathing coach who assists with overall breathing and improvement of breathing.
Like training exercises, essentially?
Yes.
Okay.
We actually work with those professional athletes that we were referencing earlier. So now he's not just working with them, but he's working with the general public as well.
Oh, yeah, so as a general public, you get some of those benefits that normally would have only been for professional athletes or celebrities that can afford it.
Exactly. Yeah, and so this is our 3rd location now. We are also opening up another 5 locations over the next 3 months. So we love the Costa Mesa area, and we joined with forces with Arthur. Arthur is going to run the franchise here, and we support them on the franchise model.
Okay, and so I wanted to kind of bring it back to Costa Mesa just briefly. How did you pick this location, this area, as one of the areas that you wanted to deliver your service to?
So we predominantly, our members are 40 plus.
Okay.
They generally are busy. They live busy lives. They're generally professionals or retired individuals who are looking for a way to stay healthy. Unfortunately, the fitness industry as a whole is hyper-focused on the 20 to 40-year-olds. So what happens is you get to around 50 years of age, and you're not ready to throw the towel in yet, but you still don't want to jump around on boxes and throw kettlebells over your head. But you're not necessarily ready for jazzercise. Right? So what you're looking for is something that fits you. So our members are generally in that area, 40 plus, usually living in a more affluent area where they have careers and jobs and keep them busy, families and so forth.
Yeah.
So getting 3 quick 20-minute workouts in that are effective, get us results, move the needle for us.
Yeah.
That's very positive. So we like this area. We always do a demographic search before we look at a specific area.
Yeah.
And of course we like Costa Mesa for that because our demographic is effectively here.
We think we create a lot of value in this area for the people.
Yeah, and I think, you do get a lot of people that are, they're commuting, and like you said, it is a more suburban lifestyle, so people do have a lot of things going on in their busy lives, and if you can get back several hours a week from having to get to the gym and all of that and just do it in 3 concise 20-minute workouts, and that's a lot of time you're getting back.
Yeah. We want you to see the benefits and get the gains from your exercise,
Yeah.
but not live in the gym.
Yeah.
So the idea is to be able to get outside and enjoy the things you really enjoy doing, which this area offers so much of that. So what we want to be able to do is really come in and improve our strength,
Yeah.
change our body composition, and improve our cardiovascular system. So for instance, our members on average get an 18.7% increase in their cardiovascular system in the first 8 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Every 6% is 1 year healthy lifestyle added on. So not increasing the length of time you live,
Yeah.
but the quality of your life going forward.
Right.
So if we can add 3 years of health span to an individual within the first 8 weeks, the possibilities are unlimited.
Wow.
Yeah, and what we love about this particular location is we're right next to the Ranch Market, which has been here for a long time.
Yeah.
Back to the 80s, it's got a history. People love the market. It's great. They're totally revitalizing this whole market.
Oh my God.
It looks amazing. We've got some great stores next to us. We've got the Facial Lounge and Bar MX, which is also works perfectly with us. And so we've created this whole energy around this area that's really focusing on health, longevity, helping people in their 40s plus really live a better life, a fuller life, and a healthier life. And so we're excited to bring that here and have that open up and have our grand opening today and really kind of push that forward.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting that you're able to quantify the amount of time in your life that you can live a healthier life. I mean, I don't know, who wouldn't want to pay to have a healthier life for a longer amount of time?
Exactly. We also can actually test cellular age. So we can actually see, well, we can't change someone's chronological age because we were born the day we were born.
Yeah.
We can actually change and improve the health of our cells, and that creates what's called a biological age. So we can actually reverse that by being healthier.
You can reverse.
We can reverse your cellular age, not your biological age.
Nice. Okay.
So if we
So if you
improve,
had a bad, poor quality lifestyle before, you still trying to fix it.
yeah, you can actually take 2 years off your cellular age per year if you're doing the right things around improving the health of your cell. So the amount of oxygen the cell can retain, the amount of hydration the cell can retain.
Yeah.
The healthier the cells, the healthier the individual. That's why it's referred to as health span.
Okay, well, and that makes sense where you would have the breathing coach and the, nutritionist and everything on staff because I'm sure they can help with
Exactly.
that whole plan.
Exactly. It's also why we're bringing in, and you'll see in this location, we're dropping oxygen on our bikes. So we're going to be working with oxidization and hypoxia, which is shown to have a direct impact on reversing cellular age
Oh, wow.
to improve the overall health. So think of it like an athlete would want to live at altitude and train at sea level.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, how many of us get that opportunity?
Yeah.
So bringing oxygen in and allowing people to benefit from a high state of oxygen, bringing it into their system. So for instance, we're breathing 21% oxygen right now. What if we were able to train with 90% oxygen? We would improve the overall hemoglobin in our system and then create a demand for it by switching to hypoxia. So we have some really interesting and cutting edge training techniques that are going to move the needle for people.
Do you guys have a background in science or biology or any of that? 'Cause
So-
it seems like you do.
Yeah, so our method is actually science backed.
Yeah.
We spent a fair amount of time in development when we were building it during the COVID years and the shutdown.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time with data scientists and sports scientists
Wow.
researching and looking at not only how the technology works, but how the convergence of those technologies work together. So we're looking at how we stack it, and in SmartFit we simply don't just put a bunch of really interesting equipment together. We actually have a method, and the method is a proven method that will change people's lives.
And it's just not just the research that Rob and I've done here, it's also the research at each piece of equipment. done. So we're starting to take those very science-backed pieces of equipment and
Yeah.
converge them together to create greater results for our members.
And so I can see that there are several machines here. Do you want to tell me a little bit about them? Just kind of overview?
Yeah, so over here we have a strength training machine. This is called adaptive resistance training. So one of the advantages of adaptive resistance training is when we normally train, we focus on sets and reps.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what the body focuses on is time under tension. So when we're working with stagnant weights, the time under tension is limited because we're always limited to our starting point. So we work like this, but we don't realize that it's a bell curve movement. So as we move through, we're actually stronger in different parts of that movement and weaker in different parts of that movement. And then we're generally twice as strong resisting force as we are creating it. So we quite often see this in the gym. And like gravity, bring the weight back down.
Yeah.
These machines are actually AI driven, so they're adapting to you, keeping your muscle under tension the entire time. So we can establish 2 minutes of tension in each of the major 5 movements, meaning that in less than 20 minutes we can replicate what would take 2.5 hours with stagnant weights.
Right, yeah, I can see now why you would be able to accomplish so much in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And on that point too, in a third of the time,
Yeah.
there's been studies on this machine that it produces 2.5 more times hypertrophy, meaning 2.5 more increase in muscle mass. So
And lean muscle.
in a third of the time, we get 2.5 times more increase in lean muscle mass. We also gain things like more increase in VO2 max, cardiovascular strength due to the intensity. You also gain mobility because, as he was mentioning there, you're maximizing that resistance phase, so you're actually stretching the muscle out, not just contracting them the whole time.
So think of it like Pilates, where you're elongating the muscle but under tension,
Yeah.
right? So we're moving both ways.
Yeah.
So while we have strength, we have to focus. In society, we're not so much that we're over fat, we're under muscle. If we go to geriatric centers and we ask doctors what their biggest challenges are,
Yeah.
it's that people are weak.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that we don't lose our bone density and our muscular strength.
Yeah.
So it's important to strength train regularly. This allows us to get the full dose of strength training needed for more than 97% of the population
Yeah.
in just 20 minutes a week.
And it's a combination of strength and you're mentioning cardio.
Yeah, we're always going to get some cardiovascular benefits from it. Over here, what we have is a machine that was developed in conjunction with NASA to address atrophy in astronauts when they came back from outer space.
Oh, wow.
So one of the things that they wanted to focus on is a low-impact environment. So this was built by a spinal rehab center. So it has no joint wear and tear. And then what we also do with this machine is we introduce cold, 45-degree water through the entire system.
Yeah.
The reason for that is when we bring the cold in, it brings down our core temperature. When we exercise, we generally overheat. So a lot of oxygen is being wasted, possibly up to 60% of our oxygen, just trying to keep ourselves cool. If we can cool the body, we can allow ourselves to achieve a higher level of performance. Secondly, we use blood flow restriction on the major extremities. What that allows us to do is trap more red blood cells in the muscle fiber, again, allowing us to perform at a much higher level. This machine here has been shown in a 6 to 8 week trial
Yeah.
to increase growth hormone, because what we do is when we create a certain level of metabolic stress, the pituitary gland kicks in and it floods our system with growth hormone, IGF-1. IGF-1 increases all growth hormone and suppresses stress hormone like cortisol. So cortisol being something that will keep us up at night, but also keep belly fat
Yeah.
on us, right?
Yeah.
So if we want to change how we play the game, we have to get our hormones involved in the game. Otherwise, as we get older, we're simply pushing a rope up a hill.
Yeah.
So we keep going to the gym, we keep going to the gym, we keep working out, but we're not seeing any changes.
Yeah.
And part of that is because the hormones in our body are not responding. So we've seen significant changes in our members. We actually have a 74-year-old doctor who works with us in our other facility, and he tripled his testosterone just working out with us over the first 3 months of working out with us. So we've seen some pretty significant changes. So we focus hyper here on the cardiovascular and muscular benefits of this, and then in addition, the hormonal response that we get from this machine
Yeah.
helps us get better results in our strength training.
Okay.
And then thirdly, back here, Connor, you can explain.
So in the back here, you can see we have these bikes. Essentially, what's interesting about these bikes is that unlike a traditional spin bike, we're not having to adjust any dials. So there's 1,000 different resistance points on this bike, and the way it determines what your resistance is actually through artificial intelligence. So the bike will read you based on your own biological data, how your heart is responding to sprints, how much force you're emitting. Based off that information, it will start to adjust to you. So what's great about this bike is if you're progressing in the program, it's going to match that. It's going to match your fitness level, but also if you had a rough night the night before, it's not going to overwork you. It's not going to overstress you. It's going to actually give you the perfect amount of resistance every time you do it. It has 9 times the fat burning factor of a 45-minute run in just 20 minutes, but it also has huge increases in terms of your cardiovascular strength, which is great for longevity. A lot of people argue it's the main thing for longevity compared to a 45-minute run. So it's time efficient, works extremely well. Yeah.
So each time you come in and work out in our facilities, you're going to work with a trainer at all times. You're going to have access to the equipment through your own scheduling.
Yeah.
So in other words, we're not sort of a group fitness type of environment where you work out on our time. You get to actually work out on your time. We're open from 6 in the morning till 7 at night, Monday to Friday, and 8 till 2 on weekends. You can book any of these machines on 15-minute increments so that it gives you a full half hour in here to get your 20-minute workout done. Each time you come in, you're going to work on a different piece of equipment and work with the trainer. And on a monthly basis, we have a full infrared body scanner that will give us a 3D image of your entire body. As Connor mentioned earlier, 90 points of reference, and it is the closest we can get to a DEXA scan without radiation. So we can scan a person on a regular basis. It gives us 2 major components. One is, we all know body composition, so body fat in relationship to lean mass. That's going to be much more important than standing on our bathroom scale. Because with our bathroom scale, we don't always know, have we lost muscle? And maybe we're lighter simply because we've been eating our muscle. We want to make sure that we know the muscle in relationship to the body fat and bone density. Secondly, it gives us something that has never been available before until we got 3D scanning. It gives us an avatar of our body and gives us a body shape rating. So we can now see the relationship between our legs and our glutes and our torso. We can start to see precursors to health conditions in relationship to that. That is now being used in place of BMI because it's giving us a better understanding of how our body shape is maintained. So body composition and body shape combined will give us much better information to make improvements.
Right, and so just to kind of go back, you were saying that, obviously having the muscle is so important, and as people do get older, their muscle mass tends to go down.
We lose 1% per year after age 25 of our muscle mass if we don't do anything to change that, and we lose 10% of our cardiovascular system every decade. So the great thing is when you're 21, 22, 23, under 25, all your hormones are working, lean mass is there, your body fat is generally low, and you've got tons of time to go to the gym. After 25, things like mortgages, family, marriage, they start to take over your time. So what happens is people start to fall off of that. At the same time, they're losing mass, lean mass, and they're also starting to gain body fat, and their cardiovascular system is starting to diminish. We can reverse that effect by doing proper training that is effective without overtraining. So as I mentioned earlier on the bike here, a lot of people, when we say 3 20-minute workouts, it's the effectiveness of these workouts that matters. And the key thing there is that when we work out too often, we actually increase stress hormone. And when we increase stress hormone, we can actually suppress growth hormone. So the key is to make sure that we get the effective dose of exercise, not too little, but not too much. So the way I like to look at it is think of it like a cold plunge. Cold plunges can be beneficial if you jump in and jump out. If you stay in them too long, we call that hypothermia.
So much science behind this, and so a lot of the scans and then your workout results, those all show up on the app for people.
Yeah, and you can see here that we have multiple, obviously great success stories up
Yeah.
on the wall showing actually the individuals and being able to see how their body is changing, how their posture is changing, how their balance is changing. So we're able to show across the board, and we have several hundred examples of those outcomes through our other 2 locations.
Yeah.
So we know the method works.
All right. And I was going to ask too, just so you guys are having your grand opening today. That's very exciting. When people come here, can they expect? Are they going to come in here and get drenched in sweat or what?
I can answer that.
Okay.
So, no, we are not. There's a big difference between efficient exercise and exercise effect. What we focus on is efficient exercise. So sweating doesn't necessarily mean you're having efficient exercise. I can go out on a really hot day, go on a walk, and I'll sweat a ton. It didn't really do a whole lot for my body.
Yeah.
So yes, sometimes you'll sweat in here, sometimes you won't. The key is though that every time you come in here, you're going to get efficient exercise. You're going to make a change in the human body.
Yeah, I think it's so cool that you can see the results and like kind of quantify them.
We have members actually who work in offices and come in their suits at lunchtime and work out and go out to work.
For some of our workouts, you can.
Well, and see, that's so amazing too, because we do have a lot of businesses nearby, and being able to do it in just 20 minutes, you can do it on a lunch break, you can easily do it on your way in or out of the office or picking up kids or whatnot.
We're seeing that as a big part of HR in a lot of companies today. They're looking for ways to bring their staff back to work. And they're offering incentives to join facilities like ours because it's such a unique offering that isn't like just going to a box gym. Again, like the machine we talked about here, this is 94% more efficient than stagnant weights. So the efficiency and the effectiveness of it. And then secondly, because we can always set your range of motion in the correct range, we can protect you from being acted upon like a weight would do and causing injury.
I saw that on your intro video on the website too, where sometimes you go to the gym and you might like overload yourself, and like that's why you need a spotter and everything.
Right. And most of the time, people actually underload themselves. And the reason is because in order for them to lift what they're actually capable of, they can only do that for like 1 rep.
Yeah.
Naturally, they're going to fatigue, and that's where they get risk of injury. So what they
Because
have
the weight
to
doesn't
do,
adapt.
what they have to do to do 10 reps, they have to go to what they can do on their 10th rep. So they just miss all the efficiencies on reps 1 through 9, so that they can lift the 10th rep. So that's one of the huge things about that machine as well.
And then, of course, the other machines that we use here, because they have no joint impact, we're not trading physiological headroom or fitness for health. So, for instance, not to down the running industry as a whole, but we do know that when we run, we load our joints. And so we can be gaining fitness, but deteriorating our health. So a lot of times we use the word health and fitness as if they're the same thing, but they are not. Again, health is without disease. Fitness is physiological headroom. So we want to make sure that we're gaining those benefits of fitness, but not wearing down our health. And that's why we can really talk about focusing on health span.
Awesome.
The other thing too is information allows you to make better decisions.
Sure.
So if we can measure it, we can improve it, as Peter Drucker said. And you can only improve that you can measure. So the best thing about this facility is everything is measurable. So you'll know if you're doing the right things, and your trainer will actually be able to work with you with real information to determine where some key tips could be made to improve your overall health and improve your fitness.
Right, and so you do have trainers that are here. They work with you individually each time you come in, and then you, Arthur, you're the franchisee. Okay, so are you here all the time or most of the time?
Yeah, I come in. Yeah, I have another career that I'm working. So the one thing that drew me to this place was that I am a busy professional, and I am trying to get in better shape and stuff. And this is the perfect way to do it, right? So I come in 20 minutes, do my workout, I get results, and I have the time to be able to do that and have my full career, right? So, but I come in all the time, check on things, see clients, and make sure everybody's happy and working properly and all that stuff. So and then we have trainers that are well trained. They know this equipment very well. They're great to work with, and they help you get the results that you're looking for.
No, it's so great, and it's perfect that it sounds like all of you kind of utilize these machines and everything, so you personally can speak about it and how it has all these great impacts.
Absolutely. And we also have a recovery area too that might want to just mention. I'm just going to pull this quickly here. So one of the things that we also have is we have a biocharger. Biochargers, I'll let Connor kind of go through, but the biocharger improves our cellular health. So it has quite a significant value to pre or post exercise. So this has been heavily used in the World Surf Organizations. A lot of professional athletes use this, and it has a recovery tool or a pre-performance tool. So Connor,
So how it works, we use this pre or post workout, as you just mentioned there. We also have breathing recordings available pre or post workout to improve performance or improve recovery. But what the actual machine is doing is there's 4 main things going on. There's an electrical charge here at the top. That electrical charge is permeating the cells. We like to explain it like opening the door. Nutrients can't go in and out of the cell unless the door is open. So the electrical charge will actually open that door. The other thing that's going on here is there's different noble gases that get emitted from these vials, as well as infrared light. There's two things that happen there. One, the noble gases simulate nature. Basically, there's a lot of benefits to nature. It's really good for our cells and our overall health. It'll actually simulate about 4 hours of nature in 15 minutes. The other important factor is infrared light. That improves ATP. So ATP is it's within the mitochondria of our cells. It's the main energy source of our cells. So, for example, you just did a workout. We're improving ATP. Your energy post-workout is going to improve, so that way you can tackle the rest of your day. Also down here we got PEMF, pulsing electronic magnetic fields. I like to explain this like the drill sergeant. Essentially, it lines nutrients that go in and out of the cell for more efficient nutrient transportation. What's great about PEMF is that our cells are naturally trying to transport nutrients already. Post-workout, they just got worked out, they're trying to recover, share their nutrients. What this does is just makes it way more efficient. We save a lot of time. And then on top of all this, we have those breathing protocols, which also help to really downregulate the system, improve recovery, help with hormonal response to each workout.
So you just like sit here
Yeah.
next to it?
Basically, you just sit
and you just
down,
absorb it, basically?
absorb it for 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and if you'd like, you can either talk to someone. We have a lot of clients who actually will call this a campfire, because they'll just hang out here for a decent amount of time, just
Yeah.
talking to other people, like-minded individuals.
You get benefits 3 to 6 feet away.
Yeah,
All right.
So
Yeah,
most
So
of
you
it
got
is-
it.
And people will actually demonstrate that they're sleeping better. And so what we focus a lot on is the balance between catabolic and anabolic. So a lot of people focus, I think, on exercise as a way to burn calories, right? Unfortunately, it's not necessarily the amount of calories you burn in the exercise that matters. It's the amount of oxidative consumption that occurs after exercise. So it's the recovery. Yeah, so what we call the epoch effect. So
Okay.
exercise post-oxidative consumption.
Okay.
So that's why sometimes strength training may not burn as many calories during the session as a run on a treadmill,
Yeah.
but it will burn far more calories after the session. So it's important to understand how our bodies are becoming effectively fat-burning machines
Yeah.
or consuming oxygen through calories, using calories and calorie consumption in the recovery. So what we want to do is allow people to get into that recovery phase as soon as possible. So this machine normally is charged out at $2 to $3 a minute anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
Scans are usually $75 anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
Those are all included in our membership here. So we don't charge extra for any of these benefits. If you're coming in here and you get a workout in and you want to come and sit at the biocharger, you're free to sit with the biocharger, hang out, as Connor mentioned, go through a curated breathing meditation,
Yeah.
or you can simply share experiences with other members.
Well, this is all so amazing, and I love that you brought it to Costa Mesa. I love that you did your homework as to why you thought it would be a good fit here. It is one of a kind. Truly not seen anything like it in the area. We do have a lot of fitness and health facilities here. I think that is part of the lifestyle, but this does bring a whole unique twist to it. And also, I think everybody is searching for what's going to give them the time that they want to enjoy everything else that we have to offer here.
And that's the benefit. It's
Yeah.
this is the future of fitness.
Yeah.
So this is where we're heading. And so being able to introduce this to people that live in this area
Yeah.
is a great pleasure for us, because we've seen the benefits, we've seen it across ourselves, we've seen it through all of our members in our other locations,
Yeah.
and we can't wait to see the people of this area benefit from it as well.
Awesome. So, well, I'm so happy that you let me meet with you. I know you have your opening today, so I know you're busy with that. I hope it's a huge success. Where can people find you guys on social media, and how can they come in here and experience it for themselves?
Yeah, so any social media accounts can be Smart Fit Method. And then if they want to book a free workout and experience it themselves, they just go to smartfitmethod.com. It'll say right at the top, book free workout. They choose a location that they'd like to visit, and then they can go see that. What they'll get in that free workout is a detailed explanation of kind of what we went through today.
Yeah.
Each overview machine. They'll also get a body scan free
Oh,
of
wow.
charge, and then they'll also get a workout. So they'll get to try a workout, experience it, go over that body scan, go through our membership options, and we'll get them started.
Perfect. It's a great opportunity for people to come in and try this equipment. Again, we can always talk about it, but until you experience it, there's nothing like it. You have to feel it to really understand it. So I encourage people to come in and do the free workout. There's no obligation to a free workout,
Yeah.
but if you love it, then we'll give you your membership options as they're available, and talk to you about how we can help you.
Yeah, and then you get the opportunity to train like a sports star basically.
To feel like a celebrity or a professional athlete.
Yeah, and we tailor fit it to them. That's what's really cool about it. So you don't have to be professional athletes come in here. You know, we have 85-year-old members that come in here and get great benefits. We actually target more non-professional sports players because what we're really trying to do is how can we use this technology for just the general public, not just professional athletes, celebrities, whatnot. So
Our
yes,
goal
we
is-
get trained like that, but we get to really help all kinds of people.
Our goal is to touch as many lives as possible.
Yeah, well, I think improving people's life and their quality of life is so great.
Absolutely. It's very rewarding.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.